Paul Heyman's worst nightmare. The Beast Brock Lesnar returns to torment him. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. It was only a matter of time. When you turn your back on a beast, you better make sure he stays in the shadows. But Paul Heyman, he's made a career of poking bears, feeding monsters, and controlling chaos. Until now, because the one thing Paul Heyman never wanted, the one man he swore was buried in the past, the Beast Incarnate, is back, and this time, he's not looking for titles. He's looking for vengeance. This is the story of Paul Heyman's worst nightmare. The return of Brock Lesnar, and his path of destruction, begins now. Calm before the storm. In recent months, Paul Heyman's grip on WWE seemed tighter than ever. Aligning with Solo Sikoa and molding a dangerous new dynasty, Heyman once again looked untouchable. Roman Reigns was missing in action after betrayal rocked the bloodline. Seth Rollins had been manipulated. Even Cody Rhodes was drawn into chaos. Week after week, Heyman sat smugly at ringside, his infamous smirk back, his phone in hand, making moves behind the curtain. But there was one name he never mentioned. One shadow he never walked near. Brock Lesnar. The man who once stood side by side with Heyman. The man who decimated John Cena, Goldberg, The Undertaker. The man who didn't just win titles, he conquered them. But Lesnar had been gone for almost a year. After a brutal loss at SummerSlam, he vanished from WWE without a word. Rumors swirled. Retirement. Suspension. A quiet goodbye. Heyman certainly hoped it was true. Because if Brock came back, there'd be no contract to sign. No handshake. No strategy. There would only be pain. First warning. It started with a whisper backstage. Cameramen found a production truck torn apart. Security footage showed a shadow, massive in size, passing through the lot after midnight. No face. No confirmation. Just a warning. Then came the second sign. On Raw, as Solo Sikoa prepared to cut a promo with Heyman, the Titantron glitched. The feed cut to black. Suddenly, a grainy clip played, old footage of Brock Lesnar hitting an F5 on Heyman at WrestleMania 38. The crowd erupted. Heyman froze. Solo glared at him. But Heyman stayed silent. He tried to laugh it off, calling it a technical hiccup from a decade ago. But his eyes told the truth. He was terrified. Raw as beast. 1 week later, the WWE Universe got their answer. Raw opened with chaos. Officials were sprinting backstage. A limousine had been flipped over in the parking lot, ripped apart like paper. Heyman arrived in a black SUV, stepping out confidently, until he saw the destruction. He stopped. He trembled. And for the first time in years, Paul Heyman was afraid to walk into the arena. But he did, because that's what manipulators do. They pretend they're still in control. That night, Solo faced Drew McIntyre in a brutal main event. Heyman stood at ringside, barking instructions, playing puppet master. Then, everything changed. As Solo hit the ropes, the lights flickered. The arena plunged into red. And from the crowd, a figure leapt the barricade. The music didn't hit. No warning. Just a storm of adrenaline. Brock Lesnar was back, dressed in jeans, boots, and a cowboy hat. But his face, all fury. The crowd exploded. Heyman dropped his phone. His eyes locked with the one man who never forgot. Lesnar didn't say a word. He slid into the ring, F5 feet D Solo Sikoa out of his boots, and stared down Paul Heyman. Heyman backed up the ramp, stuttering, mumbling. Lesnar picked up the mic. Smiled. "Miss me, Paul." Then he dropped it. Heyman in hiding. The next week, Paul Heyman was nowhere to be seen. No backstage interviews. No promos. No Twitter posts. Michael Cole announced that Paul Heyman has taken a leave of absence for personal safety concerns. But Brock Lesnar wasn't done. He began showing up unannounced. Raw, SmackDown, even NXT. Destroying security. Chasing down anyone who used the word wise man. He was playing a game. And Paul Heyman was the prize. Every week, Lesnar sent a message. Solo Sikoa. F5 feet D through the announce table. Jimmy Uso. German suplexed into a barricade. LA Knight. Interfered with Lesnar. Got wrecked for it. And then came the most personal attack yet. Lesnar found Heyman's personal locker room in the arena. He smashed every framed photo of Heyman and Reigns, tore apart old documents, burned a suit, and spray-painted 2 words across the mirror. Not over. The ultimatum. Eventually, Heyman couldn't hide anymore. He returned to Raw, guarded by 6 security guards. With trembling hands, he cut a promo. "Brock, I made you. I guided you to titles. I protected you from yourself. You don't need to do this." But the crowd knew what Heyman was really saying. "Please don't hurt me." Later that night, Triple H called a meeting in the ring. He addressed the chaos, the destruction, the lawsuits. And then, he dropped the bomb. "Paul Heyman, if you want protection, you'll face him. At SummerSlam. Not in a match. In the ring. Face to face with the Beast." Heyman screamed. He pleaded. But Triple H walked off. The match was made. Not a wrestling bout. A confrontation. Between a Predator and his former handler. SummerSlam 2025. SummerSlam arrived. The stadium was electric. Lesnar had no entrance music. He stormed to the ring in silence, eyes cold as ice. Heyman was escorted by 4 guards, shaking, clutching a mic like a lifeline. In the ring, they stood. The crowd fell silent. Heyman spoke first. "Brock, please. I'm sorry." Lesnar chuckled. "You turned on me. You sold me out to Roman. Then Solo. What's next? Huh, you don't guide champions, Paul. You leech off them." Heyman tried to walk away. Lesnar blocked him. Then, he handed Heyman a chair. "Take your shot. That's what you do, right? Stab 'em when their backs turned." Heyman dropped the chair. "Do it then," Lesnar roared. Heyman collapsed to his knees. "I was wrong." Lesnar stared at him. The crowd held its breath. And then, he turned away, walked out, but not before whispering, "This isn't forgiveness. This is mercy. Next time, I finish it." The Beast never sleeps. Heyman disappeared again. But this time, he didn't speak at all. No interviews. No appearances. Lesnar. He stuck around. For weeks, he continued to destroy anyone affiliated with Heyman's legacy. He formed no alliances. Held no belts. He didn't even care about titles anymore. He just haunted Heyman. Every time a new Heyman guy emerged, Lesnar took them out. Braun Breaker. Flattened. Austin Theory. F5 feet D into the stage. Heyman couldn't rebuild. Not this time. Because the Beast was watching. Waiting. Final Judgment. Then came Survivor Series. A special, Heyman's Legacy, segment was announced. Paul Heyman was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, early. He gave an emotional speech. Spoke of building ECW, guiding champions, changing history. But midway through, the lights dropped. Lesnar's music hit. He didn't attack. He walked to the stage. Held up a replica of the ECW championship.